We are back. Coffee Talk, March 9th. Cenzo, how are you?
Very good.
It is good to have you back on the show. It has been way, way too long.
Yeah, it has been a while, but right, NCAA brackets come out. That's whenever I come around.
And it's funny because there's a lot of shows that I don't like to do without you. But like last week, we were going to do one. Then you got sick.
Yeah,
Then you had to go support Bo, had to go to Vegas. How was going to that fight, by the way? That'd be so sick.
man, it was cool. It was cool seeing one of your friends like do that. You know, atmosphere was amazing, but it was a different experience. But I thought it was sick.
It's also to go to a UFC event, which I've never been to, but to go to an event and have your friend win in that fashion, it really doesn't get any better from an experience.
Yeah, and he seemed super pumped, and I don't know. Everyone was pretty happy for him, and you kind of just see, where he's at right now. Like he has a bunch of hype right now too, but just where that's going to take him. Also, I'm excited for him. I really am.
I'm also excited for Kassar. He fights later this month. We're trying to
hmm
coordinate him coming on here to talk about that. Talk about. Did you get to watch the UFC embedded and the better vlogs that Bo did? Because they were fantastic.
I actually didn't watch him, but I
So,
definitely might go back and do that now.
so they better BETR, who sponsors Bo now.
hmm
They did the fight week vlogs, and it was really
Okay.
well done. There were some hilarious Kassar moments. Like he's like laying on the bench in true Kassar fashion, like on his stomach, like waving his legs back and forth as he texts his girlfriend. Like absolute, like if you know Anthony, absolute hilarity in that. Also speaking of sponsors, shout out Attack. Download the Attack app, ATAC. It's in the Apple App Store, Google Play Store. Helps you level up. You can train better, train at a higher level, train at a high level like Cenzo. Cenzo just went to Egypt. How was Egypt, by the way?
Uh, it was cool. I mean, wrestling tournament was a wrestling tournament. The country was all right. Um,
That's a long flight.
yeah, it was a lot of travel. It took us a while to get there and back, but it is what it is.
How
It's
was the
just
overall
kind of how it goes.
experience? You wrestled pretty damn good.
I think I wrestled all right. Just trying to get better. Um, and I still, have a lot of things I need to improve upon in the next couple months here. But yeah, I think the overall experience was cool. I mean, I'm pretty new at wrestling overseas still, so I think just like going and getting those experiences for me is, pretty important for my wrestling career and just I get to go do cool shit. So I'm not really too upset about it either way. But
Is it funny
Egypt,
that you go
Egypt
there?
was all right.
Is it funny that you went there and you wrestled four matches? Two of them were Americans, one in your own training room.
Yeah, that's how it goes. I don't know. I figured that was gonna happen.
Is it like after you wrestle like your own teammate? Is it completely like normal after?
Um, with him, with Anthony, yeah, he's a cool dude. So like he's not weird about it afterwards or anything like that.
I feel like I would pout. Like I feel like I'd be a little upset. Like
Yeah, I mean, like it definitely depends on the person, right?
I
Like
think it
yeah,
also depends on how like I know how you are win or lose. You're the exact same. Like you're just having fun. I can imagine some people are a bit more of a dick if they win. Like I'm not going to mention the story on air right now, but there's a guy I don't like who did something when he won, but he cries very much when he loses. I hate that. So I'm assuming you make it easier if you win. You did. I do appreciate this about you. I always appreciate this about you. Despite having a lot of friends in the sport, there's a lot of people who just keep things so close to their chest because they're very paranoid. But you did text me like right away, and you're like, "I'm a little banged up. I don't know if I can go in the finals," which I appreciate. Not only because like I care about you, but if I don't know that, I'm putting on a graphic, like hyping it up even more. So then, as soon as
Mhm.
you text me, you're like, "Yeah, I'm a little banged up. I can't go in the finals." I literally like, okay, delete that graphic because
Yeah,
I had one ready, but I did appreciate that.
Yeah, I got you, man. Gotta let you know. But yeah, it was just business decision. We're good to go.
I just got the email for the pool, for the NCAA pool.
Okay.
Are you joining mine this year?
Yeah, I'll hop in. I can
All
do
right.
that.
Kyle
Yeah.
I think Kyle Moore is gonna hop in too. It's gonna be fun.
Oh, nice.
There was 75 entries last year.
Oh, Colin said you're the man, by the way.
Did he?
Yeah, he's in.
Yeah, I like Colin. He was overdue. You were supposed to be on that episode, but that was right when you got back and were sick, I think, still. You were
Yeah.
out. You're like, dude, I just woke up. I got to go back to sleep.
Colin got it all done. He got the dub out there, and then he came back and he was feeling good too.
Dude, Colin Moore back-to-back ranking series gold medals. That dude's on a mission. There's guys you root for because they're good, and we were talking about it on the episode with him that like his only two. He's in a weight like you are. Like he's got Jaden Cox and Kyle Snyder in front of him. Like it's almost harder to make the team than to win the actual world medal. So definitely rooting hard for more.
Well, he's at 90. He's at 92, right?
Yeah. What did I just say?
He says that well, he had Kyle and Jaden in front of him
I'm
for
saying
Olympic year.
Yeah, the last 2 years his only losses were to Snyder and Cox. Jaden at 92, I think Snyder at 97. But all right, let's talk NCAAs. The brackets came out. Did you find a printer?
No.
So but, I really only have a printer because of Becca. Like she prints stuff out, and I actually I was in the hot tub last night right after brackets came out, and I just printed them.
Oh, nice.
To the printer. I come upstairs. I grab
my hot tub too.
I come up and grab the paper, and it's cardstock. So thick brackets this year.
Nice and thick. I got mine. I got mine on PDF form, and I have some chicken scratch on a couple of them. But as you know, I'm going to change my mind as we go through this and just wing it and make shit up. And I'm going to pick people I like over people that I don't know or don't like. And that's just how it goes.
We're fans, and fans are allowed to just have a bias, have a blind pick. Really doesn't matter. This is just a fun show.
I have Spencer Lee losing first round. No, I don't, but like,
and three people just turned off the podcast.
if you don't like the heat, get out the kitchen. No, but seriously, it is what it is. I'm gonna.
Yeah. So I will say this. Corby just sent me the selection criteria, which I haven't seen this before. And it says that this is how they're seeding. Head-to-head competition, 25%. Quality wins, 20%. Coaches rank 15%. Conference tournament placement, 10%. Results versus common opponents, 10%. Win percentage, 10%. RPI, 10%. So it is interesting. I'll post that out later. There's no, like, what you did last year. Like, because we were talking about how is Brooks the 3, and he had said, well, he has a loss to Marcus Coleman, and he doesn't have a winner or 1 or 2. So that's kind of a little precursor to talking about some of these seeds. Seeds are always interesting because it's always objective what's bad, and it's not super consistent. But we'll get into that more as we go through some of these weights. 25, I thought.
The way I'm looking at the seeds is that it doesn't matter. I have zero effect on what the NCAA seeding is, but it just makes things interesting. That's the only way to look at it from this perspective. I think it just makes interesting matchups.
What is kind of annoying is like talking to Corby about the Brooks thing, and it's like, okay, Brooks didn't beat 1 or 2. He actually did. He beat Parker 12-8 at the All-Star Classic, but it doesn't count. So it's one of those things where it's, we'll get there. Let's start at 25. Spencer Lee, obviously the 1, Pack Glory 2. Yeah. This is really Spencer's weight. I think Spencer's going to run through this.
Sure. I got I don't know. I got Spencer and D'Agostino in the semis up top,
I
and
think Spencer
then
and Ramos up top. I don't think D'Agostino's healthy at all.
yeah, I don't know. I think he could still get it done though. But I got him making the semis still. Um, but either one of those guys, unless my boy Nico Provo gets through there,
Nico,
let's
shout
have
out Nico Provo.
let's have a tournament, Nico. Um, but yeah, I mean it's gonna be Spencer all the way to the finals.
What do you have for the
Bottom
bottom side of this bracket?
bottom half, Courtney and Kaylor will meet again in the second round. Kaylor beat him for the first time in Pac-12s. I got Courtney reversing that back, setting up a interesting quarterfinal between him and Glory. Um, I think I think that's going to be a tough match, but I got Glory making the finals over Cronin in the semis. I think that also is going to be a good freaking wrestling match. I think Cronin's tough, man. Um, I became
Cronin's
I became a fan of his this year. Yeah, he's tough. He wrestles hard.
Cronin's so tough. I think it's going to be fun too. You have some guys that have taken some losses, but can do fun things. Noah Certain, Pat McKee, Steve O'Poulin, like those type of guys. That upper half of the bracket on the bottom is going to be fun.
Yeah,
But
that's tough. I agree.
I do think it's going to be Cronin and Glory, which should be a great match.
I think so too.
But what odds would you give Pat Glory of being able to beat Spencer?
I don't know. Low. It's no. I'm not going to list odds for this, but I don't know.
Spencer minus 300.
I got maybe more. I got Spencer all day.
There have been whispers of like how healthy Spencer is, like he's a little bit banged up.
Who cares?
Well, I'm
It
just saying
doesn't
that
it
factors
doesn't
in.
matter.
Did you see how gassed he was at the end of that last match?
Have you watched him wrestle a full match ever?
Not too often. But if
Yeah,
somebody
but
can
when
take him the distance, I think obviously Spencer's gonna walk through
dude,
his weight.
it's funny because it's like, oh, like he get like the Cronin gave him a match. I mean, not really. Spencer still was defending takedown. Spencer got a takedown in the third period. He won by like 6 or 7. Like it wasn't.
Yeah, it's very hard to wrestle a
It
very
was
solid
just
7 minutes when you don't have to do it often.
And he just like when he goes, he exerts so much energy. He's really good at doing it though, and that's where he scores a bunch of points at one time. But like he exerts so much energy at once, and that's why I think he gets a little tired. But
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think if you don't have like some of these guys that are used to going, like Will Luan, for example, 9 overtime matches this year, you naturally tend to get a little bit more condition when you wrestle 9 minutes, 9-10 minute matches.
that's so much. All right, let's.
All right.
Anything else on 25?
No, Spencer Lee
Right.
over Pat Glory in the finals, I think.
Yeah.
33 is going to be another fun weight. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's always interesting when you have something like this where you have Roman and Dayton the past 2 years, and now we could see it for a third time. But I don't think it's one of those things that's like, I'm obviously Roman. Roman beat him twice, and I think Roman's going to do it again. But somebody like Dayton Fix is not just like, it's not where it's like Spencer and Pat Glory, and it's like, okay, how big of a favorite is Spencer over him? Like Roman's the favorite, but Dayton Fix, amazing athlete. He's somebody who you can never count out whatsoever. So I do think.
Agree.
But before we get to the finals, I mean, there could be a lot of chaos early in this one.
Yeah, I agree.
Brody Teskey, Mikey Philippi.
I was just gonna say I like that Teskey Philippi opening match. That's an interesting one. And then that Nagao dude from Minnesota looked great at Big Tens. I think he's gonna make it out to that quarterfinal either way. But Teskey Philippi first round match, that's gonna be a good one.
And Kai Oren just beat Lamont and Philippi at the conference tournament last weekend. Like he looks, You see a celebration? That was actually going a little viral thanks to Jersey Jerry and Barstool.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Hey,
Yeah,
good for him.
that whole bracket has those. I mean, this is the NCAA tournament. It's no shocker, but you have a Michael McGee K Oren quarterfinal would be very fun.
I got Mikhail and Ragusin. I mean, slight Big Ten bias. I got
Yeah,
Ragusin taking out that Oren dude, and then I got McGee in the semis against Roman up top.
yep, that'd be a fun one. What do you have on the bottom?
Um, I think Jesse Mendez Vito second round match is going to be
Crazy
interesting
match.
too, given that they both win their first round match, right? Then I got Vito against Connor McGonigal. I got McGonigal getting through Latona, and Vito against Fix in the semis. Yeah, I got Fix and Berg quarterfinal. Fix making it to the finals.
Yeah, I
And I got
think
Roman Bravo Young.
3-time NCAA champ.
Yeah.
Jesse Mendez, Vito, I think wins, but Jesse Mendez has been right there, and he's a true freshman. So you're always going to
he
have
can
that.
scrap. He's good.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Vito's damn good though too.
And Vito's hungry. Like this weight has been a lot of Roman and Fix conversation, obviously, over the last 3 years. But Vito's right there, and Vito's ready to go on a run. Jesse Mendez, Vito, I am really looking forward to Thursday night. Lucas Bird, Zach Redding. This bottom half of the bracket is crazy too. But yeah, I think I have it chalk. Roman and McGee at the top, Vito and Fix at the bottom. Roman over Fix in the finals again.
I'm trying to look and see what Vito's losses this year. San Latona.
I think it was an overtime loss, right?
3-2.
Yeah. I definitely know that this is going to be a conversation after this year.
Vito did beat Jesse Mendez 6-1 in the duel.
Yep.
But tournament and dual meet are a lot different. So
100%.
We'll
this
see.
is a little bit premature to have this conversation, but do you think if Fix doesn't win, he's one of the greatest of all time not to win a title?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got to be, right?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. I mean,
that would be 4 runner-up finishes.
Oh yeah. Definitely then. I don't know.
Because he lost to Soriano and then 2 to Roman, but he's made the finals every year.
Oh, those guys are all pretty damn good.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, definitely. That's one of those matches too that I know a lot of people like. Fix is such a great kid, and obviously Roman's hard.
I like Dayton Fix.
Like Willie told me he's going to be in the Oklahoma State box for the championships. I'm like, yeah, that'd be a tough one for me to watch 33 in. All right, 41. Very interesting weight. I had mentioned earlier Brooks beat Parker at the All-Star Classic, but it doesn't matter. Similarly here, Woods beat Alirez, I believe, at the All-Star Classic.
Alirez beat Cole Matthews at the All-Star Classic and then was ranked first throughout pretty much the entire season. But I think it kind of all evened out now because Alirez and Rio are the 2 undefeated guys here.
Actually, sorry, Alirez beat Matthews at the because Real didn't wrestle,
Right. So I got Real Woods winning this thing. I think he's going to dominate, to be honest with you. I got him wrestling Alan Hart in the quarters. I got Alan Hart making the quarters. I think Alan's a vet, tough wrestler.
Yeah.
Been in the game for a little bit. And then rematch with Brock Hardy in the semis, which I think is going to be another great match.
Yep. That was a great match. There was a little chatter after the duel or the Big Tens, and I asked him what he said. He's like, I just said a hell of a match. Let's run it back.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
They're
that one looks friendly to me.
yeah. There there was that was for me the moment where I'm like, I think Real wins this year. I do think that Andrew
Man,
Alira's
it took you that long to think that.
my problem with being overconfident in Real is he wins a lot of close matches. So it's not like he goes out there and he texts guys where it's like it's just no brainer. Like Real has won so many close matches that he just does what he has to win, and I think he's done that enough that
See, I disagree with you there a little bit. Um, he does win close matches. He's tough and he will win the close matches, but um he had he's had a few techs this year. One, two, three, four. He had a fall first round Big Tens. He's a major over Carter Young. Um, 8-1 over Jake Berglund. Uh, Bartlett 4-1. So I mean, he puts up points. I mean, it's not like he beat Brock Hardy 2-1. Uh, that second time they wrestled. First time was what, 6-4? Yeah, six to
yeah,
four. So like he can score points. It's
definitely.
just he can score points, and he's great on top. If he gets across wrist on top, he's gonna get back points. Um, but I mean, I think he's just so solid. He's so hard to take down. And he's very, very good at keeping the pressure on you, keeping forward pressure on you whenever he's winning too. So, and that's whenever, you're like, oh, like he's not really doing anything. Oh, like he's putting pressure on the
Yeah.
guy so that he's not stalling, not getting hit for anything. But, yeah, I think he's been wrestling just great this year, and I think he's going to win national championship next weekend.
Yeah, no, I do too. In his defense, I say like he does what he has to win loosely. Like Real's defense is underrated. That 6-4 match over Brock Hardy, that was the
Yeah,
most points he let up all year. Nobody has
yeah,
scored more than 4 points against him. And I think 2 was the most all year, including a 17-2 tack, a 16-0 tack, a 17-1 tack. That was the only time he let up more than 2 points
right.
was against the 4 seed. So I definitely think his defense is incredible. I do think he wins here. That I think that it's going to be. What are your thoughts on the bottom half? You think it's going to be Aliris and Cole in the semis?
See, here's the thing. I'm so torn between the Bartlett Cole Matthews match.
Yep.
And I think that if it's Alirez coming out on the bottom there, I think Alirez beats Matthews but loses to Bartlett.
Interesting.
But I think I got Matthews over Bartlett though.
I definitely think we see Bo and Matthews in that quarter.
I think that's going to be a crazy good match too.
Yeah. I think no matter who wins that quarter, I think that semi is going to be great. I'm torn. Bo definitely has what it takes to beat Matthews. It's just
Yeah, they're both good, man. Like they're both good at scrambling, both creative wrestlers.
yeah.
Should be an interesting.
And
That's gonna be
Bo
an
at
interesting
40
matchup.
Bo at 41 looks so much better than Bo at 49. Like you can tell he feels faster, stronger, more
Yeah,
natural.
yeah,
So
man. All right,
yeah,
what's your decision here? What's your pick?
winner Real Woods of the weight.
Yeah,
Bottom half I'm very undecided on. Andrew Alirez is very tough. He doesn't have that many head-to-head top 10 wins this year. He beat Alan Hart twice, 8-4, literally 8-4 both times. Those are his only top 10 matches all year. So I think the winner of the Bo and Matthews quarter makes it to the finals. I think they beat Alirez.
I can get on board with that.
Little Penn
You don't
State
build it.
magic. If Bo made the finals, that wouldn't surprise me.
No, I
Penn
mean
State
that
typically
was
wrestles really well in March.
yeah.
So I could see Bo making a run, but I do think real wins the finals.
I agree with that all around.
So just to be clear, we're 3 weights in, we're 3 number 1 seeds win.
Yep. Look, that's usually how it goes, though.
Yeah. Yep. All right, 49.
Not going to change here either.
Yeah, 49. Most interesting thing here is that this seating committee decided to put Austin Gomez 15 and Sammy Sasso's 2. So
Hey,
Thursday night,
Gomez is 10-4, and he's hurt.
Thursday night, you have Sammy Sasso, Austin Gomez likely. Austin Gomez has won 3 straight matches against Sasso.
Yeah, but he's hurt, man.
Listen, somebody asked me how healthy do you expect Gomez to be? So I texted Austin last night. I said, hey, how healthy are you planning on being next week? He said,
how healthy are you planning on being? Yeah, he's gonna say 100%, man.
No, he did not say that. What he said is people are going to eat their words.
Oh.
So Austin Gomez is
all right. I'm changing all my picks now.
we don't know how healthy he's going to be, but Austin Gomez is going to come hungry. If you're Sammy Sasso, I'm definitely looking at this bracket like, come on, really? Like, okay, Gomez is hurt, so it's not like 100% Gomez is what we're thinking, but still, Gomez has that potential to just wreak absolute havoc.
Yeah, Gomez, if he's healthy, then
I don't know how
a tough draw.
I don't know.
He's 10-4.
Yeah, but 3 of those losses I think were Big Tens. Or no, 2 were. I don't think the medical forfeit counts for 7th. I don't know how when he has a win over number 1 Yanni. I don't know how you rank him, seed him 15th. That to me is just crazy.
Because he's 10-4. That's why I don't know.
That to me is like even when I look at the selection criteria, conference tournament placement's only 10%. Quality wins supposed to be 20%. So that's right, definitely.
Hey, let's just go through the bracket.
You're not interested in that? The fact that Gomez is a 15 seed?
I mean, like I said, it is what it is. What are we going to do about it at this point? I think it's kind of funny.
It just seems crazy to me.
I think it's kind of funny, but like, I don't know. Where else are you going to put him?
I would probably move them up to like 11 or something. But either way, Panero up top at 5 is very interesting. He's got some.
I agree.
Graham Rooks, Doug Zapp right out of the gate is going to be a good match.
Oh yeah.
What do you have in the semis here?
All right, so Penn State bump. I got my man Shane Van Ness upsetting Caleb Henson in the second round and making the quarterfinals against Panera Johnson. I do have Panera Johnson in that match though, and then I got Yanni making the finals. Yanni beating Max Murin in the quarters and Panera in the semis.
Panero Shane Van Ness was a very close 3-2 match. Panero getting the win back at the collegiate duels. So I do think Panero gets that win, but I think Shane could definitely pull out a win.
It could be Caleb. Listen, Caleb Henson's freaking tough too. So
he's a stud.
Yeah, he very well could make the semis up top also, but I'm going with my boy Shane. I think that he'll be ready to go for this tournament.
Caleb Henson took out Sammy Sasso 5-3 earlier in the season. It's sure also like the Panero Johnsons are always interesting because again, true freshman. How nervous are you going to be? How prepared are you going to be? This is a big tournament. It's going to be interesting to see what he does. Then you have somebody tweeted, it was actually a funny tweet. Somebody said yesterday about how Panero has 32-year-old Jared Verclaren in the first round, and Jared said, "Hey, I'm 31."
Jared Verclaren has a good sense of humor about that type of stuff. So
He does.
he's yeah yeah he's cool. But
The,
yeah, that's
that
funny though.
that will be a good, definitely a good Thursday night match. The winner of Panero and Jared, which I think will be Panero, and then Zap and Graham Brooks.
Oh, absolutely.
So, who do you have in the bottom?
Bottom half, I got Cal Parco and Michael Blockus in the quarterfinals up top of Parco winning that and making the semis. I got Blockus taking out Brock Mahler in the second round. And then the bottom, oh, the bottom's so tough.
It is.
Um,
I think
I
the
don't
fact that
know.
we don't. So Gomez and Yaya both medical or injured. So Yaya got injured at Big Tens and then he didn't wrestle. So we don't know how healthy he's going to be. Austin Gomez, we don't know how healthy he's going to be. I'm
I
taking
like,
Sasso and
yeah.
Parco in the semis, and I think Parco gets the win there. It's just
No, I got Parco when it making the finals also, but I like that 10 seed, man. I
yeah,
like
that's
the
your
I like the
Stanford boy.
I like the 10 seed Jay Navis getting through there, man. Whenever he's on and he's wrestling well, he's so good. Um, him and Parko had a 1 point match last week at Pac-12s. Um, and James beating some tough guys, but if he can beat a healthy Yaya Thomas. They've had close matches before. Um, we'll see, man. I'd like to see him get through that one, and then I mean Sasso or Gomez, whether Gomez is hurt or not, he's a tough out. But Sasso is always tough. I got Parko making the finals though down there, and setting up a Yanni Parko
You
in the
could end
state
up
final
too,
match.
like with that bottom half the bracket, regardless of who makes it out, you could have some crazy matches on the backside then too.
Oh yeah,
I don't know who's
yeah.
gonna like forfeit out, like with Gomez, yeah, how healthy they are if they don't wrestle. Like last year, who was it? Gomez and Andonian, I think, had a couple crazy matches.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's Yanni and Parco in the finals. It's gonna be interesting. Guys like Brock Mahler, Missouri, they very, very tough. It's on one hand, like you pick some of these weights as chalk, but you're also, I don't think people realize how little you'd be surprised if somebody gets an upset. You're like, yep, I see that. That makes sense too. But it's hard not to pick some of these guys as favorites.
Yeah, I got to throw in some upsets, make it a little interesting, but no upset champs yet.
It's also, I think Willie just tweeted out, which is pretty interesting. I was just looking at Max Murrin, the 8. What did he say? 5 of Iowa's guys are underdogs by seed by round 2. And another Murrin lost to Milner, the 9 seed last year. So a lot of early matches.
Yeah,
I think team-wise, I think Penn State runs away with this, but Iowa, Nebraska,
I
Cornell,
think
NC
Iowa.
State, there's gonna
I think a lot of the Iowa guys are going to outperform their seeds, though. Like, for example, Mirren at the 8. I don't know. Mirren's just a tough wrestler that gets on the podium. He's going to win those backside matches.
yeah. Yeah, and I mean we could get him and Milner right away Thursday night. So
Yeah, we will. That'd be a
that's
good ass match too.
yeah,
Milner's
Yanni.
good.
I asked Willie this. I'm curious your thought. You have a couple legacy matches here. You have Spencer going for his 4th, Yanni going for his 4th. You also have a crazy heavyweight. What weight would you end this tournament on?
Um, the best match. Whatever the best matchup would be. So maybe
I went
make it.
65.
It could maybe 65-33 because then you get 25-33 at the end to
Yeah.
finish with Rome and Dayton, something like that.
Yeah.
That's going to depend on who makes the finals.
Yeah. No, for sure. All right, 57.
Man, my preseason pick at 157 was Austin O'Connor.
It was.
And and
And
he's
that's
he's
looking
been
good.
he's been looking great, man. Um, but again, like if I pick another one seed to win this thing, like I'm gonna be upset with myself. But I got Austin O'Connor, Will Luwan in the quarterfinals on Friday morning, and that's gonna be a match
Yep.
because everyone that wrestles Will Luwan has a match because he goes to overtime every time he wrestles. Um, yeah, and then I got Jared Franek and Kendall Coleman in the quarterfinals up top with them. I got Kendall Coleman beating Josh Humphreys in the second round, making the quarterfinals.
I'll tell you what, I know he's a 28 seed and he's got some losses this year, but Patty Gallagher is a very tough draw. A very tough draw.
Oh, yeah, that is a tough draw. You are absolutely correct.
Because I was looking at that and thinking, do we get an upset right out of the gate? And it's Patty and Kendall Coleman. I think I would still take Coleman in that match, but it's
Yeah,
definitely
I like that you're hating on Lehigh. That's fun.
um who is his wins this year?
Josh Humphreys,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll look at it. Who do you have in the bottom semis?
The bottom's going to be so interesting. So there's two true freshmen on the bottom that are really freaking good. Levi Haynes and Dan Cardenas. Dan Cardenas, Stanford kid, he was out for a little bit this year, came back later in the second half of the year, has looked awesome. Um, he'll have a tough second round match with Chase Saudet, assuming that seeds hold right there.
Yeah.
And then if he gets through that, then Peyton Robb in the quarters, and that's a grown ass man right there. Peyton Robb
Yeah.
definition. Peyton Robb's a grown man. Like that's some dad strength right there. Awesome dude, great wrestler. Man, that's such an interesting matchup with if Cardenas and Rob meet in the quarterfinals there. I'm gonna have to lean Rob slightly, but I wouldn't be surprised if Dan wins that match either. And then I got Levi Haynes making the semis in the bottom.
Over Andonian. That's a
Over
core.
Andonian,
That would be
over
a crazy match.
over Andonian in the quarters. I think Levi will like kind of how O'Connor does when they wrestle, just too solid, too strong.
Yeah.
Kind of take the crazy out of him, let him take himself down a couple times. But yeah, I think Levi's just going to be too strong and positionally sound for Andonian. And then I got Levi Haynes making the finals. Um, again, I mean he's been wrestling great. I think he's just going to continue to get better and better. Um, and this might be the first of many for this dude. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see him. Um, I know, dude puts the work in, so it's gonna be an interesting tournament.
I definitely like Levi to make the finals, and I think he can get it
Uh,
done. I mean,
so
he wrestles very maturely. Like he does not wrestle like a true freshman. Like mentally,
no,
he wrestles more like a veteran than a true freshman. I could see him winning this weight. There's a lot of kids in here like Andonian, Cardenas, Gallagher, Ed Scott. There's a lot of kids in here who are so good that picking this weight to go kind of chalk until the end, it's one of the least confident weights where I think there's going to be an upset. I just don't know where it is.
yeah, there will be at this weight class too because there's a lot of like solid guys here. I don't think there's a ton of like superstars at this weight, but there's a lot of like very good wrestlers though. So
Yeah.
with that, things can go a lot of different ways.
Franik's very good. We don't see him that much. Some of these non-Big Ten guys and these other conferences, we don't see.
Franik's good, man. I've watched him a little bit this year. He's tough.
Yeah, Big 12 champ. He lost the last couple of years to David Carr. So Yeah, this weight's going to be fun. This is one of those weights that I think it's going to be Levi over Austin in the finals, but I'm super excited to see
Yeah,
where the upsets are.
yeah, heard that. Oh, all
All right,
right. Next,
65.
this way it's crazy. I mean, immediately you see Shane Griffith at the 9th seed.
It's just crazy. There,
Yeah, man.
if David
I
Carr
don't
wins this
know.
weight, which my pick is David Carr to win this weight. If David Carr wins this weight, he's got to be an NCAA champion, Shane Griffith, in the quarters, an NCAA finalist in the semis, Quincy Monday potentially, and Keegan O'Toole for the third time in the finals. If you win that weight and he goes undefeated this year, you can't tell me he is not a very front runner for the Hodge. I don't know what the percentage is offhand of like quality of competition, but it doesn't get much higher than this.
I agree. I think he's looked incredible all year too. I think he's looked damn good. Um, he's going to be really hard to beat this tournament. But up top, we got Griffith and Matt Oldgren from Oregon State, who's beaten Shane the last 2 weeks actually. But I got Shane in the third time here. I don't know. Got to figure something out.
Yeah, I'll take the experience with that one. I think Shane gets it
Yeah.
done. Beating somebody 3 times in a row is very hard, which is why I think for Carr to do it again to O'Toole, which I think Carr will get it done. But yeah, I like Shane there in that match. I think Shane loses to Carr in the quarters though.
Yeah,
Who do you like in that next one? I think Quincy gets it done over Ramirez in the quarters.
I got Quincy over Facundo in the quarters.
Interesting. You think Facundo beats Ramirez and then okay. Facundo did not look his best at Big Tens. My
He did,
confidence is
yeah.
his
He
confidence is down
he
a little
did
bit.
he did not, but I think that's a winnable match.
Oh, it's definitely a winnable match for him. I don't know that a talent like Facundo, when you see a 13 seed, him and Ramirez is a bit more even than the seeds might let on.
Yeah, no, I think that match is a coin flip, but I just picked Facundo so I could have some upsets in there.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, but then I got Quincy over. I got Quincy making the semis, and then David making the finals.
I'll tell you what,
Um,
I know he just beat Shane twice, Olguin. Bubba Wilson's
yeah,
a tough draw too. Bubba Wilson looked very good at Big Tens. Very good.
I I don't know much Bubba Wilson. Not gonna lie.
I don't think he beats him. I just think it's a tough draw. He looked very good. I think Nebraska is wrestling very, very tough. They went 5 for 5 in the semis at Big Tens. They just seem to be wrestling really good. That is
They're a good, well coached team, man.
if that was a first round upset, if I had to pick like 5 first round upsets, that would probably
That'd
be
be
one of
one.
them. Yeah.
Hey, I'm here for it.
Bottom side, what do you have?
Um, I got I got Dean Hamidi and Cam Amin in the quarterfinals, with Cam Amin winning that match and making the semis again. Um, yeah, I think he's gonna have a better tournament than he had at Big Tens. And then bottom, I got Keegan O'Toole and Carson Karchla in the quarters, with Keegan making the semis and then the finals as well. So I got O'Toole over Amin in the semis.
This weight is so crazy. I don't have a mean making it out of Thursday night
Yeah, that
because
could happen also.
so Patrick Kennedy just beat him 3-2 recently. I think
Hmm.
Patrick beats him again. And so I think we're going to see Hamity Patrick Kennedy in the quarters and then Karchla and O'Toole in the bottom quarters, which I think O'Toole wins. I think so. One of my favorite matches here Thursday night, Caliendo Karchula. could be very, very good. Caliendo is as tough as they come.
Yeah.
But I do think O'Toole and Carr make the finals. I think Carr beats him again. And I think he becomes a Hodge front runner for me. This
Yeah.
weight, even
If it plays out like that, he definitely is a Hodge front runner.
this is another one of those
Dragon.
weights where I think we get a bunch of great matches on the front side, and then on the back side, we see a bunch more of crazy matchups.
Oh yeah, I even like filled out a little bit of the back of this bracket, and it's the blood round's going to be silly.
Yeah. I mean, you have
So,
even up top too, like some of those first round matchups like Bronigal, Peyton Hall. This weight might be my favorite weight to watch, where it's like I love Carr to win the whole thing, but
mhm.
I think it is just going to be a barn burner.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of good wrestlers here, so I agree with you. Like
Yeah.
even so, very bottom, Keegan has Wyatt Sheets in the first round. Like that's not an easy first round match.
No, definitely not.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
this will be a
there's.
fun one. Karchula in my pool, I think, is going to be my 10 seed.
I think that's a good one to pick, but
I don't.
he could, he could place, he could not though. It's a tough ass weight. There's a bunch of good guys here. Like if you all American it this way, you definitely earned it.
Yeah, this is one of those weights that,
Yeah.
as I was looking at the 10 seeds, he was up there. If anybody has a tougher 10 seed, please DM me because my pool is not finalized yet. All right, let's go 74. The first thing I noticed is that in the second round we could have Carter, Donnell
And
Washington
Donnell
again
Washington.
after they had
Yeah.
some words for each other. And now we could see that in the second round Thursday night. That could be some fun.
That was just Carter. That was just Carter being Carter. I thought it was hilarious.
But this
Um,
way is what do you got?
I got Carter winning again. I got a repeat. I got a Starachi Makai Lewis final. Um,
I
but
think
I got
Labriola beats Mackay.
yeah, I think that's a toss up semifinals match. But I'm gonna go with Makai in March here. Uh, I got Carter over Bailey O'Reilly in the quarterfinals up top to make the semis. And then this bottom quad at the top here, I got Dustin Plott. Um, it's interesting. Obviously, I want to pick Kyle Valencia, and he has a very interesting first round matchup with Chris Foca, and both of them like to roll around a lot. Um, and Kyle's had a much better second half of the year, so it'd be interesting to see if he can make some noise there. Because if he can pull that first round upset off, I like him to make the quarterfinals at least.
Yeah,
Um,
Foca has finally looked like last year. I thought he was going to have a really good year, and this is the year that he's actually wrestled.
yeah,
His only loss was a 3-1 or 3-2 loss to Mackay Lewis this year.
yeah, I think Foca's been very good this year too. But like I said, they both, when you get two guys that just their bread and butter is kind of scrambling, like first round NCAA tournament, sometimes you never know what's going to happen.
Yep. And what do you got on the bottom
Uh,
side?
Bottom side, I got Mackay and Ethan Smith in the quarterfinals. So last year, uh, Ethan Smith and Tyler Eishens wrestled in the first round last year, and Eishens beat him. And that's the kind of what I'm talking about here because they're both they'll both roll around scrambly guys, and Tyler just came out on top of some of those scrambles, ended up winning a pretty hectic match in the first round last year. Shout out Stanford. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think that definitely could happen again, but I think Ethan Smith in his you know last year of college, seventh year of college wrestling, I think he's gonna make the quarterfinals. And against Makai Lewis, I got Makai. And then at the bottom, I got Labriola, Peyton Maka quarterfinal, Labriola making the semis, and Makai winning probably 1 point match in the semis set up a Makai Lewis Carter Starachi final.
Yeah, I think
Which I
Labs
got,
over. I
which
think
I got
Labs over
Carter.
Mackay.
I got Carter winning that on takedowns this time.
Yeah, Carter looks so damn good this year. I got Carter
Mm-hmm.
over Labriola again in the
Yeah.
finals. It's funny that you mentioned the age of one wrestler, but you have Demetrius Ramiro in here also, who I believe when
Yeah.
he started wrestling, Willie loves to point out that he started at Boise State.
Yep. I think he's my year, or he was like my year
Is he
coming out of
really?
high school. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
This is interesting too. Like we haven't talked too much about the team race, but you mentioned that Tyler Ethan match in the first round. Nelson
Yeah.
Brands, if he wins against Alex Faison,
Oh
who just
yeah.
went to OT with Makai Lewis at the ACC Championship Finals. That's
Doesn't mean anything.
an interesting Thursday night match for those rooting for Iowa.
Yeah, man.
Trying to see if there's anything else this way. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Next week's more
84,
fun.
84. Again, I know you don't like the seed talk, but the Brooks being the 3 was very interesting to me. Some people called it. Nomad called it. People said that's the right move. He doesn't have wins over Parker or Trent. I don't think 2 versus 3 really matters much in this weight. I think that Aaron Brooks is going to win this whole thing. I've got
Yeah.
Parker. What do you got up top?
I got Parker Kikaisen and Matt Finesilver in the quarters, with Parker making the semis there. And then I got Abe Assad actually making the quarterfinals. And I got Trey Munoz, and I got Trey Munoz making the semis.
Lenny Pinto is dangerous as a
Lenny
13
Pin-
seed.
Lenny Pinto is extremely dangerous as a 13 seed. I wouldn't. He has very big move capabilities, but I still like Trey Munoz to make the semis right there. And then actually, you go with your top, and then we'll talk about the bottom.
I like Lenny Pinto to pull the upset, and
Okay.
then I think he goes on a run to the semis, and Parker beats him in the
Okay.
semis. It just feels like he's due to break out and go on a run, and I could just see this happening. Again, I think Nebraska's been wrestling very tough. I like Lenny to make the semis.
Okay. I like that.
Which, I mean, he'd have to be Trey Thursday night in the round of 16, and then be, winner of likely Marcus Coleman, Abe Assad in the quarters. It's no tough task, but I think he can do it.
It's doable. Yeah, I think it's definitely doable.
What do you got in the bottom?
I got AB Caleb Romero quarterfinal with AB making the semis. Actually, I'm pretty much all just chalk for the quarters on bottom. Hit Trent, Idley, Hunter Bowen, Trent making the semis, and AB take down Trent in the semis. So I guess the 3 over the 2, with Aaron Brooks being your national champ.
Same.
I understand that. I guess they don't take past year's results into account, but I think that's just silly.
Agreed.
I think Aaron Brooks is the 2-time defending national champ and probably should have been the 1 seed, but I think people are allowed to use logic when it comes to things like that. But I don't know. I don't make the rules.
It just seems like they're not consistent. That's the biggest thing. That's like, you have the criteria, I get it, but some weights it doesn't make sense, and it's almost like we'll kind of talk about it in the heavyweight, really, but in years past, it seems like they've given more favoritism to the Big Ten, where you have a very, very tough schedule, and there seems to be a bit more logic there. And I don't know. Seems like there's no way Brooks should be. He also, again, I know that the match doesn't quote unquote count, but he beat Parker 12-8 at the All-Star Classic. Even if the match doesn't count, you can still use the logic in some way and say maybe the returning national champ who beat the 1 seed in a quote unquote exhibition match shouldn't be the 3. But again, I also don't think it matters here whether
I
Brooks
don't think it
is
matters
the.
either.
I think that this is one of those weights where, regardless of seeds, Brooks is going to be the favorite to win the tournament.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, and that's who we got. I mean, I I I think his performance last year at the Nationals kind of solidified him as one of, if not the best wrestler in college wrestling.
Agreed. One of
So, I mean,
yeah.
I'm gonna go with him.
Yep. Same.
Yeah,
Parker, if a Parker and Coleman match happens, I don't know if we saw that this year. That could be an interesting match.
yeah, I agree.
We
I
did.
think both those guys are tough.
Parker beat
I
him
think,
6-2 at the Big 12
yeah,
championship. Forgot about that.
that makes sense. I would
Yeah.
think so. All right, let's
97
go.
is, oh my gosh.
97 is a really interesting weight. We got the returning champ as the 9 seed. Um, my boy Nino Bonacorsi having a good year. Uh, yeah, I don't know. There's some good guys in here. There's some better guys.
This is the one weight that I wrote out every single match because I was curious. Like, I literally went through every single one. Thursday night, the round of 16 is just gets into be bananas. Like, I was asking people on Twitter what's their semis matches, but even just the round of 16 is bananas. What do you have here for the quarters up top?
I got Bonacorsi, Max Dean quarterfinal. I got Max getting that match back from Silas Allred that he dropped at Big Tens. I got Max winning that Thursday night, moving to the quarterfinals Friday morning. But I do have Nino Bonacorsi taking out Dean in the quarters, and then I got Beard, and I actually have Younger coming out and beating Laird, which is interesting pick for me. But I'm gonna stick with it, and then I got Beard making the semis with the All PA semifinal up top with Bonacorsi and Beard.
Yeah, I'm very similar. I got Nino and Dean in the quarters as well. I've got Beard and Ethan in the quarters. And on the bottom side of that, which is interesting, those are the two guys Max Dean lost to back this year.
Yep.
Dean this year, he seems to be losing some of these close matches. I've got Nino as well. I think he's looking awesome this year. I've got him making the finals up top over Beard in the
Likewise.
semis.
Yeah, likewise. I don't know. I think either one of those three guys between Nino, Dean, and Beard, I think any one of those guys can win the whole thing also.
Yep.
My picks up top. All right, you go down bottom first.
So bottom,
I don't like the bottom here.
okay.
It's hard.
So I'll go every match. I
Oh,
think
okay.
I think Elam wins first round, and I think Warner beats Caffey first round. I think
I got
Jackson
that too.
Smith. I think Jackson Smith beats Michael Foy,
Yeah.
and then I think Trumbull gets the win. But Stemmen is tough. I know you know that, so I'm preaching to the choir there.
Stemmen had a good Pac-12. He beat Tanner Harvey, who beat him last time, and then he had a 7-6 match with Truax in the finals.
Yep.
So he had a good Pac-12, and he might surprise some people here.
Yeah. So I think Trumbull, but again, if I'm circling upsets where you have a 6 versus 27, that is definitely one to watch. And then I have Tanner Sloan, and then I have Jacob Cardenas.
Trumbull wrestles freaking hard too. But yeah. Sloan, Cardenas.
Yep. And then I've got Serber and Truax in the next one. So then we're pretty similar through those, right? And then I think through the next round is where we're kind of different. I've got Rocky beating Warner. Warner, when I was going through this earlier, so Warner's beat Allred 3-2, but that's really his only good win this year. He's lost to Younger, he's lost to Bronigal, Dean, Michael Foy, Dean again, and Jackson Smith. I like what I'm seeing out of Rocky. He hasn't wrestled that many matches this year. He came back kind of late, but I do think Rocky beats Warner. I also don't. Warner is a postseason dog. Like Warner in the
Yeah, I
in
know.
March, like
That's why I got him
the
beating.
only I
I got him
don't
beating you.
he medical forfeited at Big Tens.
Saving himself for the Nationals now.
I I'm going Rocky. Even if Warner was 100% healthy, I think I would lean Rocky. But either way, I don't think Warner's 100%, so that makes it easier to pick Rocky here. And then I think Trumbull beats Jackson Smith. Trumbull is so tough. And then I've got Tanner Sloan taking out Jacob Cardenas, and I got Bernie Truex taking out Serber. And then I've got Rocky beating Trumbull and Bernie beating Tanner to make the semis.
Mm. I got Jacob Cardenas over Tanner Sloan. Um, and then for me, the winner of Bernie and Jacob Cardenas makes the finals against Jacob Warner in the semis. And I got Warner taking out Trumbull in the quarters.
Wow.
Yeah,
So I've got a Nino Rocky final.
that's very Italian of you. Yeah, I got Nino. Do I want to go with Bernie? I don't know, man. This is gonna be tough. Yeah, we'll go with Bernie. He's an athlete.
I'm looking through his year. So Bernie
I'm gonna
took out
keep it nice and boring. Go with the 1 and 2.
he took out Michael Beard 3-2. He lost
Mm-hmm.
to Isaac Trumbull, got
Was
pinned.
that was that his
Seven
loss?
those are his that's his one loss. Lost to Isaac Trumbull.
I just uh,
7-6 win over Stemet,
I
Pac-12s.
know. Yeah, I know, man.
He was he attacked the Cenzo coaching tree. Not really coaching tree, but the Stanford and ASU.
Yeah.
So what do you got for the finals?
You tell me. Just pick for me.
I'm going Rocky over
I, I'm
Nino.
I'm going upset city. I'm going Jacob Cardenas. I'm taking the 10 to the finals. And I got Nino over Cardenas in the finals.
Wow. Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
Rocky over Nino.
Hey, who likes boring picks, man?
Nobody.
You
Nobody.
got Rocky Elam. You got Rocky Elam over Nino.
Yeah, I've got Rocky Elam, NCAA champ.
Rocky. It's funny because I texted you and that was my initial pick. Then I saw his Jacob Warner draw and I was like, I think I'm gonna go with Warner over him.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Warner, depending on how healthy he is, he also has a very tough draw. His whole Jacob Warner's
Yeah,
path to an
he
NCAA
got,
championship is ludicrous. I mean, he's had
he
Cameron
also
Caffey out of the gate.
right. He could. I was just gonna say he could lose in the first round too.
Yeah, and that's, I mean,
Craziness.
he's the favorite over Cameron Caffey, but Cameron Caffey, definitely a tough draw right out of the gate for him. He'd have to take out Cameron Caffey and then likely Rocky Elam and then likely, let's say, Isaac Trumbull. It's just what a crazy wait. This is another fun one that's going to be on the backside, too.
I'm excited to just watch and have all my picks be wrong.
Oh, that's the best part.
It really is.
That's what makes the
All
pool
right.
so fun, is rooting for the guys in your pool, like your 7 seeds, your 9 seeds. I think I entered 2 actually last year. I think I'm probably going to do that again. All right, heavyweight. I did not see Wyatt Hendrickson getting a 2 seed. Again, doesn't really matter. I just did not
No.
see it coming. Him and Kirk both only lost to Mason Paris this year. Kirk happened to lose twice because he's in the Big Ten. I was very surprised to see that.
Um. Yeah, I have nothing to say about that, but Cassiope, Colton Schultz, and Mason Paris on the same side on the top is just kind of funny. Um, I
Yeah,
got
I
Greg
mean,
making the final. I got Greg making the finals in the on the bottom side.
same. It's a great draw for Kirk. It's definitely a great draw. And I you just mentioned it, but I don't think it's. I think it's a bad draw for Iowa fans because now Cassioppi's
So do
got
I.
a quarter potentially against Colton Schultz, a semi against Mason Paris, and a potential final versus Kirk. I mean, that's just that is a very
Yeah,
tough draw. What
I
do you got
got
for
I got
quarters here?
I got Paris and Lucas Davidson in the quarters up top, with Paris making the semis, and then I got Colton Schultz beating Cassiope in the quarters on the same side, setting up a Paris Colton Schultz semi finals match.
I got Mason and Schuler up top, and I've got Schultz and Cass. Um, I'm really torn on the Schultz match. Really torn.
I just the way I look at this Schultz Cassiope match is Cassiope's good with his body locks and you know kind of just out wrestling the guy, like wrestling through position and stuff like that. But being stronger eventually like breaking the guy. I just don't see that happening with Colton. And my
My
analysis could be completely wrong based off of the four Tony Cassiope matches I've watched this year.
so for
But
me, it for
but
me that match for me is more. I'm like flip side for you. Some of the
yeah,
Colton losses have stuck in my mind, like losing to
yeah,
AJ Neville's and losing to Dayton Pitzer. Like those,
yeah.
like if Colton Schultz
I
win
can
this,
understand that.
I'm not at all surprised. But Cassiope, I the way I would have seeded this is Mason 1, Kirk 2, Cassiope 3, and Schultz
Three
4.
Colton.
And
Yes,
then
that's the correct. That would have been the correct way to do it.
and then you have Mason Schultz, which makes more sense, and Kirk Cass. So I was kind of thrown for a loop, but I think we see Mason and Cass up top, and I think Mason wins and makes it to the finals. Um, and the bottom, I like Kirk and the Harvard kid whose name I can't say
Sam.
in the quarters. And then I actually like Zach
I
Elam and Wyatt Hendrickson in the lowest quarter.
I was about to say I don't know any of these other guys other than Wyatt Hendrickson, so I'm going to pick him.
Yeah, so I'm going Wyatt makes the semis with Kirk. I think Kirk beats him, and I think we're looking at Mason Kirk again in the finals with Kirk getting
Yep.
it done. I think Kirk is going to pull some
Hey,
magic.
hey, me too, man. I think that Greg gets it done.
Mason
Third
has
time's a
looked,
charm this year.
yeah, Mason
He's
has
looked
looked
great.
so
He's
good.
looked he's looked great, man.
This is where like I'm just rooting for Kirk to win, so I'm picking Kirk to
Hmm.
win. But
Sam.
most logic says Mason. Again, yeah, at this point, after Penn State has had so much magic in March, you can't like this isn't Mason next topic by any means. With Kirk looking really good, he's only lost to Mason Paris.
They just went to overtime.
Yeah, I definitely think Kirk can get it done here. So I'm rooting for Kirk. It'll be a fun wait though.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Lot
I'm
of
I'm
talent.
ready, I'm ready for Big Greg. A lot of
Um,
talent.
what do you think? Top three teams.
Um, I gotta think. Penn State, Iowa. I don't even know who would be number three.
NC
No
State
idea.
could NC State, Missouri, Cornell, Nebraska.
Missouri. It's gonna be
I'll tell
tough
you what, if O'Toole and Rocky both make the finals, that's a good number of points right there for Missouri. They've got a lot
for
of
sure.
kids, depending on how far Zach Elam can go, Alan Hart.
Right, they have a good team, but I got definitely Penn State, Iowa 1 and 2. I mean, that's the easy ones, and
Yeah.
then the whole Pac-12 coming in third.
I'm I'm interested to see how that team race plays out. I wish Penn State wasn't such a favorite. It's so much more fun when the first place trophies like an actual team race. And there's big upsets rooting against guys. I don't care if you're a Penn State fan or not. I never like when a team is so favorited that it's like, unless major upsets happen, multiple, it's a foregone conclusion.
That's not going to happen though. I think they have their heavy hitters this year, and they're too solid around them. You know, so gotta give it to Nittany Lions, but we'll see. That's why they wrestle the matches. So
yeah, I forgot. I still have the All-Star Classic results pulled up. Rocky Elam beat Jacob Warner 8-6 at All-Star Classic in overtime.
Oh, he did. I remember that now.
Yeah.
But good thing it's March.
All right. Well, I'm still going Rocky Elam, 197-pound champion. Any final words for the NCAA championships?
No, I got nothing else other than I'm excited to watch and be 0% involved.
Yeah, this was and maybe this year you can do a couple Uber rides because somebody was asking you last year if you are their Uber driver.
Yeah, I will not be at the Nationals this year though. I'm staying in Phoenix.
Sweet.
All right, man.
All right, guys, that's today's show. Let us know your picks. Tweet us.
See ya.
And the beat goes on.